Welcome, my friend, and congratulations for claiming your power, for giving yourself permission to step in a new reality, to step in the unknown with courage, and see that you have always had the power to shift your own belief systems and position yourself in a place where you're able to receive everything that you have been asking for. This is my message for you today. But first, I want to start with something crucially important. You, unconsciously, have been programmed to believe that you're a victim to your own beliefs and to the circumstances that you experience. And now I just want to make sure you grasp that, you understand it. Because who is the one that have chosen your beliefs, right? Who is that one? Who are you that have decided to succumb, to submit, and to accept limiting belief systems about yourself that are not ultimately serving your purpose? It has been you. And it was unconscious, because this is how society programs us. Society wants us to work hard to prove to ourselves that we are worthy. But see, the thing is that you have accepted that program unconsciously and you are free to drop it. You have the power, you have the courage, you are brave enough, you have come so far, and you are at this point in a place in your life where you can simply decide that I am and I can claim what I want to believe. So this is what we will be talking about today. And I want to share with you two structures. One of them is about bringing awareness and structuring your belief systems so that you know what you're working with. And the other one, the other structure, is catching and breaking down your belief systems in the moment they are occurring, they are operating, in the moment when they're in action. If you can do that, if you can catch a limiting belief system and break it in action, exchanging it with an empowering belief system, then you simply understand that you have claimed your power, and you claim it again and again and again and again. Wow, you see reality shifting directly in front of your eyes. And I want you to have that power, my friend, because it is your birthright. No matter what society has tricked us into believing, what we have been programmed and brainwashed into believing, this doesn't change the fact that you're a powerful being of consciousness. And I want to remind you of that power, my friend. So let us start with the basics, okay? The basics. And this is something that I've learned from one of my teachers, Joe Dispenza. I highly recommend it to everybody. He explains spirituality and bridges the gap between spirituality and science in such a practical way that you can take everything that he teaches and apply it to yourself to see the results of what you have told, okay? So here is what I have learned from him. Your personality creates your personal reality. When you understand and remind yourself again and again and again and again that you are a creator, you're not a victim, you have chosen to believe limiting beliefs about yourself, your self-concept. But in the same way that you have chosen to believe limiting beliefs about yourself, you can simply decide to choose and believe and claim empowering beliefs about your self-concept. So your personal reality, since it is a reflection of your personality, this simply means that you can accept a new belief as true, and if you have enough evidence that it is true, then what happens, my friend, is that the reflection, the mirror reflection of your personal reality must reflect what you have claimed to be true for yourself. And this is where your power comes. But now there is one roadblock standing in the way. And this roadblock is your present limiting belief systems. That some of them you have inherited from your family, others you have inherited and learned from school, from your bosses, from the authority figures in your life, from everybody that you believed, okay? And so you need to take responsibility of your limiting belief systems, because at some point in your life you have unconsciously accepted them to be true. And now if you were to claim your power back, you need to accept, to bring conscious awareness to those limiting beliefs. Take your power and accept that it was your responsibility that you believed in them. Even though you were programmed unconsciously, now consciously you need to take responsibility for what you have been programmed with so that you can use your power consciously. The power of choice. This is what I'm talking about. The power of awareness. Getting into the first structure. If you were to claim your limiting beliefs as yours, forgive yourself that you have believed them and let them go. First, you need to bring awareness and structure them so that you can understand the influence they have over your life, okay? And this is how this structure will help you. And now, please listen with me closely. This is something that I generally share with my private high-ticket clients that I work with, and I have decided to make it public in this YouTube channel. So if you take this and apply it, I'm certain the transformation that you're looking for, it's literally coming your way if you take this and apply it. So there are three main things you need to understand about bringing awareness and structuring your limiting belief systems. The first thing is that anytime you feel triggered, right? Anytime something on the outside happens, a circumstance comes your way. And when it comes your way, when you feel triggered, and this is something that most likely you've started doing, so congratulations, acknowledge yourself, pat yourself on the back for the good work you've done. And if you haven't, listen closely. When you feel triggered, you ask yourself, what do I feel? You bring awareness to what happens in your body, and you want to feel it viscerally. You want to actually be able to feel where are those sensations that make you feel triggered in your body. You want to bring your awareness to everything that happens underneath your throat, down in your body. You're not staying in your mind when you feel triggered because you understand that you'll be simply stupid, right? If you think from a triggered state of being, you're not intelligent, you're limited, you don't have access to truth, you're in deception. So that's why you bring awareness to your feelings and you ask, where in my body do I feel this trigger? What happens in my body? Can I acknowledge everything that happens in my body? Is it in my stomach? Is it in my chest, in my throat, in my shoulders, in my back? Where? Where is it? Is it in my fists, hands? Is it in my feet? Where do I feel the sensations when I'm triggered? Do I want to run away? Do I want to fight? Do I want to freeze? Do I want to over-explain myself? Do I want to protect myself? Do I want to attack? What happens in my body when I feel triggered? Okay, this is the first thing. When you're working with belief systems, you really need to bring awareness to your feelings. Your feelings, this is your power, my friend. If you understand the power that your feelings have and can work with them consciously, you can shift your belief systems at will. And I'll get to that in a moment. But so, starting with this first step, bringing awareness to what happens in your body. Now, acknowledge it, accept it. This is what I feel. I feel tense in my stomach. I feel this heavy rock in my chest. I feel like there is this rock in my throat, as if there is something that wants to come out. I want to speak, but I can't. Okay, what happens? What do I feel in my body? This is the first step. Now the second is, and you ask this question to the feeling right now, my friend. Once you have awareness of your feelings are living beings. They're intelligent, they are conscious. You can speak with them as if you're having a conversation with them, okay? The more you understand that, the more of your power you get back, you claim it. Because you know, my feelings are my responsibility. My well-being is my responsibility. It's not that the other person made me feel like that or this circumstance. It was the belief system that I assumed to be true unconsciously that created this feeling in the first place, right? And now you want to understand, you want to discover what is this belief system. And this is why in the second step, you ask a question directly to the feeling. What must I believe is true about this, about what happened, about what I just experienced to feel like that? What must I believe is true to feel like that? And this question, if you ask it directly to the feeling and you don't assume that you know the answer, you accept a position of innocence, like an innocent child that doesn't know anything and you're trying to understand now. That's why you ask it with curiosity and innocence to the feeling, and then you listen. And then you see what you believe. It might be something in the lines of, it was not fair that this happened. It's not fair that he or she said that to me. I think that nobody cares about me. Something like that, maybe. Or something like, oh, this is too much, I cannot handle it. It's too much, you cannot speak to me like that, and I don't deserve to be spoken like that. I don't deserve this. See, if you ask a question to the feeling, it will tell you exactly what you believe. And this belief, my friend, you want to write it down, okay? You want to write it down. Take some time to take notes, write it down, because this is how you bring awareness to what you'll be working with. Because the third level, the third step here is that you want to understand the models of behavior and the thinking patterns of that limiting belief. Every limiting belief has three levels to it. A feeling, that is the other side of the coin to the limiting belief. So a feeling and a limiting belief, they are the two sides of one coin. And then there is the models of behavior and models of thinking that are making you react and have the same story repeat in your mind anytime you feel triggered. So you want to bring as much awareness to that as you can. That's why you continue asking questions again to the feeling. Questions. How do I react? How do I react instinctively when I feel triggered? What happens? What's my first reaction? What am I thinking about when I feel triggered? What are the stories that are repeating themselves in my mind? And then you want to write down what are those stories, because this is how you bring awareness, right? When you write it down, now you've taken it seriously. And so when you also write down how you react, it's always with a form of repression. When it's repressed, the feeling is repressed, then it comes to your mind in the form of intrusive thoughts, anxiety, sometimes panic attacks even, right? When you repress a lot of energy. The other form of models of behavior is expression. It's literally like getting angry, wanting to smack somebody down, running away, expressing it, wanting to fight, wanting to protect yourself verbally, wanting to attack, defend. This is an expressive model of behavior. And then there is the last one, which is escapism. The escapism, these are all of our destructive habits. When you self-sabotage, this is literally what it is. It's a destructive habit that is escaping the feeling that you don't want to take responsibility of because it feels unsafe. And you have learned to cope with that feeling by escaping it with some form of superficial pleasure. Now, there is nothing wrong with that, okay? It's not about that. It's simply about bringing awareness to it. Because the more awareness you have, this, my friend, is where we go to the second structure, okay? And the second structure is, it's literally when you claim your power back. And you deserve that. It's time, okay? This is how you shift your personality. And when you shift your personality, your personal reality must answer. It's inevitable, literally inevitable. When I say that, I mean it. So this is the second structure. When you have broad awareness and you have structured one limiting belief system, you have wrote everything down about it, now you can catch it and break it in the moment of action when it's triggered. And this is little by little, you want to have your awareness to expand to the point where you can catch yourself believing in the old story, getting in the old state of being, and reacting in the same old way. And when you catch yourself in the moment when it happens, you have the freedom to choose differently. And this, my friend, is where this second structure will help you. The second structure, okay, first of all, one thing you need to remember, your beliefs are your decisions. Whether you have accepted them unconsciously, you are programmed in a way, it was still an unconscious decision. And now you want to bring awareness to that unconscious decision with the first structure so that you can make it conscious to such an extent that you can now have the courage to simply break it, decide to not believe that any longer, and assume the opposite. And I'll give an example in a moment. But first you need to accept that your beliefs are simply decisions. Even though they were unconscious previously, you can now bring them to awareness, make them conscious, and take responsibility for them to the point where you can forgive yourself that you had to unconsciously believe something that was limiting you, was destructive to your own self-concept, detrimental to your self-concept. You can forgive yourself that you needed to believe that to keep yourself safe. And now, through forgiveness, you can simply accept that you have the freedom to choose a new belief system. And so, once you see that your beliefs are simply decisions, now you can, when you catch it, in the moment it feels triggered, you can ask yourself, what is the opposite of this belief? But really, what is it? What is the opposite of this belief? What if I believe that I don't deserve to be loved, for example? Let's say it's a dynamic in your romantic relationships. with a man or with a woman, the same type of man, the same type of dynamic, the same type of people you attract. And then at some point you bring awareness, you ask that question, what must I believe is true, to experience that, and you see that your belief system is, I don't deserve to be loved by the man I want, for example. And so if that belief is true, it was limiting belief. Now you ask that question. What is the opposite of this belief? Really, you ask the question again to the feeling. Your feelings are your friends, my friend. They are first your partners in crime, and secondly, they are your partners in personal transformation. They are literally your teachers. So you ask that question to the feeling in your body, and then you'll see that something like that pops up. I deserve to be loved by the man I choose. I deserve it because I love myself. Something in those lines. And then you want to ask another question, and this is where your power is. Listen closely. You ask the question, what is the real evidence that I have that this is true? And you want to answer this question at least 3 times. This is how you claim a new belief system as true. Our mind is simply a goal-striving mechanism, a goal-achieving mechanism. If you give it enough reasons to believe a new belief, because you have proof for it, evidence for it, it would take that evidence and accept it as true. It would not matter, because the mind doesn't care. The mind is impersonal. You take it personally, but your subconscious mind is impersonal. So if you give it enough evidence to the new belief that you want to accept as true, for me, for example, with this YouTube channel is, I deserve to be seen and acknowledged for everything that I am. This is what I'm believing right now, accepting as true by growing this YouTube channel. Just giving an example. But so you want to ask that question, what is the real evidence I have that this is true? And you want to find from your personal experience in the past, from your story in the past, you want to extract those moments that prove that the new belief is true, right? So, and this, my friend, is absolutely beautiful, because our memory, our long-term memory, and this has been researched, our long-term memory is subjective, which means that if you were to recall an experience that happened 6 years ago, we wouldn't recall what happened objectively. We recall what happened from the state from which we perceive it. And now, since you perceive it from the new state, I deserve to be loved by the man I choose. Going back to that example. What is one real evidence that I have that this is true? And you look into the past and you will find that evidence, right? From your personal experience. And since it's your personal experience, it's real. And if you find 3 times that evidence, you experience an instant state shift. Literally an instant shift. It takes like 10 or 15 minutes to come up with those 3 evidences once you know what belief you're working with, okay? This is the first structure. And with the second structure, a couple of times again and again, you need to break that belief, and you want to accept the new by finding the evidence that it is true. And if you do that a couple of times, every time it will take you like 15 minutes, you will see that at some point you simply surrender to it. And this, my friend, this is literally when you see that your personality creates your personal reality. Because you see your personal reality shifting in front of your eyes, because you have shifted your personality with your belief system. Your personality is a complex of belief systems you have about your identity, self-concept. This is what it is. And once you shift your beliefs in your self-concept, your personality changes, and that personality inevitably must attract a different personal reality. Your personal reality doesn't have any other choice but to answer to your will, to your power. And this, my friend, is how you claim your power. So even though you have been programmed to believe that you're a victim to your beliefs and to your circumstances, by following those 2 structures that I have just shared with you, you claim your power back and you become the creator of your life. You become the decider of your life. You understand that beliefs are simply choices and you can choose anew. And if you've done that already, congratulations, my friend, and welcome to the tribe of powerful creators. Here we are. Thank you so much for staying with me, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye, enjoy your day.